It is about that time. Street Fighter 6 has been out for a little over a month. There's been two major events, CEO and Red Bull Kumite, which featured really good international talent and a variety of characters. And personally, I've finished the first video for every single character in our Road to Master series, so I have a little bit of an understanding at least of what each character does, since I've done a character overview and I've also played at least 10 ranked matches. So for some of the characters, you know, I might not have the best understanding, but I at least know what's going on. So today the goal is very simple. We are just going to make a character strength tier list for Street Fighter 6. We got all 18 characters here. We're going to rank them S tier to C tier. S is going to be the highest, the best characters in the game. C is going to be the worst. I'll definitely have timestamps for each character. We're going to talk about each character, put them in a tier, maybe go into training mode to kind of showcase some of my ideas of why I think they are in that specific tier. After we put every single character into a tier, at the end of the video, I am going to rank all of the characters in the tiers, and we will have a 100% ordered tier list so that you know which character is the best in my opinion and which character is the worst character in Street Fighter 6 also in my opinion. Before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, helps the channel out a lot. And let's get into the video. So we definitely need some basic characters to kind of start it off to compare. We are going to start with the protagonist of Street Fighter 6. Where should Luke Sullivan go? C tier, B tier, A tier? Most of you probably guessed Luke is in S tier. He has it all: a great drive rush, an invincible reversal, amazing damage, amazing buttons, hit confirmable normals. Yeah, let me just show you a little bit about what I mean. He's got, you know, great crouch medium kick into drive rush. A lot of characters have like a similar kind of crouch medium kick, like Juri, Cammy, Ryu as well actually, and this is so good just to start pressure. His Fierce also is able to do the same thing. I think even crouch medium punch is probably a block string as well. Also in neutral, he has his crazy fireball. You know, it's definitely worse than in Street Fighter 5 because of the fact that you can perfect parry and drive rush, but you gotta be really close to perfect parry and drive rush into punish. If you're around here, pretty safe to throw out. You can hit confirm crouch medium kick into heavy punch for a +1 situation. Hit confirm stand medium punch into the target combo, and you might think that doesn't seem so good, and you are wrong because you can hit confirm into every single super in the game. This is definitely one of the best neutral tools in the game itself, with stand medium punch. His level 1 super blows through any fireball. A lot of people were saying that this super alone makes Luke top tier because it just blows through everything. 6-frame startup, extremely good. I already mentioned he has a DP, so already on defense he's good. And just to top it all off, he has amazing damage. You know, he's got all of his perfect charge combos, which aren't too hard. Obviously I'm dropping it a little bit, and that should combo the tackle, but you guys get the idea. Luke does insane damage and corner carry as well. Like, compared to a lot of characters, they can't get this much corner carry, and Luke just gets it off of what, 1 drive meter. So insanely good character. We are going to put Luke in S. All right, the next character we're going to use as kind of a comparison to Luke is Ryu. And Ryu, I feel like, is noticeably weaker than Luke. But does that mean that he is automatically in C tier? It's kind of hard to put Ryu into a tier because since he just seems weaker than Luke and Ken, people don't play him. So he feasibly could be A. I'm going to put him in B, and I'm going to explain my reasons right now. So Ryu has a lot of the tools that I think are necessary in Street Fighter 6 to be a good character. He's got his invincible reversal, crouch medium kick into drive rush. On block, you can go into crouch medium punch, and this is +4. Daigo was using this a lot to shimmy. I didn't show this with Luke, but something that's really good that these Shoto characters can do, even characters like Juri and JP, you can do a block string into fireball, and it's safe to drive impact. Do it a little bit farther, you're able to drive impact back, so that's a really good way to get your opponent's drive gauge down in my opinion. Ryu has amazing damage in the corner with his hit confirmable heavy kick. Obviously if he has Denjin charge, he can do a combo into Denjin charge, go into level 3, something like that. I think I do Hashogeki first, right? And then it's definitely an insane amount of damage. But these are simply the reasons I'm not putting Ryu at C tier, the lowest tier. Ryu has a lot of tools that make him a very solid pick in this game. That's why I'm putting him at B tier. There's going to be a lot of characters in S and A tier that just have this kind of crazy factor that you look at that character and you're like, man, that character is broken. And Ryu just doesn't seem to have that to me. And a very big reason that I put Ryu lower than Luke, one thing, he doesn't have the hit confirmable target combos. Like, he has this one, which is okay, but like, what do you really get after this one? Not much compared to the Luke target combos, right? The Luke one can go into super. It can also, you know, drive rush and get some Oki after. Ryu, his main problem is I think they want you to go into Denjin charge a lot of the time. They want you to charge up Denjin instead of going for Oki. And Denjin charge just isn't that good. Like, you can throw a fireball at once, great. It's a good fireball, don't get me wrong, but you have to give up Oki for a fireball. Is it worth going for the charge compared to Oki? Like, Luke can just focus on getting Oki and get a lot of damage in the progress. If Ryu wants to just stay back in charge, he's losing out on the mix-up, right? And Denjin charge just isn't worth it right now, in my opinion. And now I'm going to show you why going for Oki a lot of the times is really weird with Ryu compared to, like, say, Luke, for instance. If you take a look, Ryu's going to do a wake-up jab. I'm going to do a medium Tatsu and try and drive rush and get Oki. If I try and throw, it's too far. You just can't do this with Ryu. It leaves you too far. A character like Luke or some other characters I'm going to put in S tier always get the throw mix-up off of knockdowns. But Ryu, you can get the strike, but you have to walk up to get the throw, and that's a very big problem. Yeah, so Ryu has to go for light Tatsu if he wants to drive rush an Oki, and that's also spending a drive rush. A lot of characters don't have to drive rush to get the Oki here, but Ryu, if he does a combo like this and you're a little bit far, you're gonna be too far to get the throw mix up. It's just like very unprivileged. And let me just do a damage comparison. So if I do a crouch medium punch or kick drive rush and go into light Tatsu, and then we go for the Oki, it was 1975 damage, right? Or 1924 damage. Meanwhile, Luke, if you don't want to spend any meter, 2224, you don't have to spend a drive rush to get back in, and you can spend an extra drive gauge to get a ton more damage. So you can see the corner carry and the Oki situation just a lot better for Luke. Next up, we're going to continue with all these shows. We got Ken. We are going to put him in S tier along with Luke. I feel like for a lot of the same reasons as Luke, Ken is just up there. He has everything in the game. Again, hit confirmable target combos. His stand heavy kick is amazing to whiff punish with. He got amazing corner carry, great drive rush. Like the stand medium kick, target combo. Oh, it's just 3 medium kicks? No, it's medium heavy, right? You can drive rush behind, get your throw. Super fast drive rush compared to Ryu. Ryu, like, for some reason just starts up in forever. Really great corner carry. So like that same crouch medium punch or kick target combo before, you got the Tatsu. It's a little bit less damage than the Ryu one, actually. At least the route that I did. I don't know if that's optimal. But look at how much corner carry it was compared to the Ryu combo. Yeah, so even from there, full screen corner carry. And corner carry in this game, super important because of the throw loop. So characters with good corner carry that can take you to the corner off of one hit are going to be king in this game, king or queen. I mentioned the stand roundhouse punish counter. It's not just for the fact that it's a good whiff punish. Look at the reward you get. More than 50% screen corner carry. Like, it's a crazy amount of screen carry that Ken always gets, and that is why I have put Ken in S tier. All right, next up we are going to do Chun-Li. Chun is a character that I've actually played a lot, and I think she is very strong. However, I cannot put her in S tier in good faith, given how good some of these characters are going to be. I'm going to put Chun-Li in A tier, and let's explain why. So first, her strengths. Chun has an insane fireball, all right? You can drive rush behind it. It's super slow moving. You can anti-air really well if your opponent tries to jump. Her heavy one is like a bullet. It just goes super fast. She has great buttons as well. Crouch medium kick. It's in the same tier as like the Luke, Ryu, Cammy, Juri, crouch medium kick. It just does an insane job of getting you in. And she also has forward medium punch, which is a little bit shorter than crouch medium kick, but it is hit confirmable, so you can hit confirm it into EX legs into a super, which is really strong. It's even a safe hit confirm if you do EX, because the EX is -3, so really good strength from her with that forward and back medium punch. So I've said a lot about why I think Chun-Li is strong, and I do think she is a very strong character. That's why I put her in A, with a game full of extremely strong characters. Her biggest weakness, which I think a lot of people know, I'm gonna have him on wake up jab right here. Chun is one of 2 characters in the game without a throw loop, which it doesn't really make much sense. She of course can pressure with jabs and like walk up throw, but the fact that she doesn't have like a brainless just throw them or not mix up, it's a huge weakness in this game when throw loops exist, and a character like Juri or Ryu, basically any character in the game, if they get you to the corner, they can just kill you off of throw loops. Chun cannot actually do that. So that throw loop thing is definitely her main weakness in my opinion. But the other thing, her anti-air is just very weird in this game. First, it's hard to input compared to a DP. I don't know if it's just because we're not used to it, or if it's just literally a harder input to do fast, but I don't know why they decided to do this. And I would say like 10% of the time I do this anti-air, they just jump in between the legs, and like the hurtbox or the hitbox on it just doesn't hit the opponent. So a lot of the times the anti-air just doesn't work as expected. However, it's actually a really good tool for Chun-Li to have, this anti-air, but it's just not as good as other DPs in my opinion. All right, so we have 2 characters at S, 1 at A, 1 at B so far. Let's put our first character into the C tier. Which character is actually not so good in this game? The first one we are going to put there is Kimberly. Kimberly in a lot of ways is a really good character actually. She has a very strong stand medium kick in terms of neutral. Her corner pressure is really good with her bomb mix-ups and just her run shenanigans and her overhead low. However, she doesn't have an invincible reversal until level 3. So I have the Juri on meaty jab right now. I tried to EX reversal. I'm not sure if it actually came out, but it is not invincible. Not sure why they took that out. It was invincible in the beta, and if it were actually a wake up, I think she would probably be like A tier at least. You can see her reversal super. It's so slow, 12 frame startup, that it loses to a lot of jabs. You can meaty jab her on wake up, and you can see the Juri actually blocks. Level 2 just isn't even invincible, I'm pretty sure. Or even if it is, it just doesn't like hit the meaty jab, right? And it isn't until the level 3 super art or critical art that, you know, she's actually able to have a reversal. And it's so important in this game, just by the example, because throw loops are such an easy way to just get damage on your opponent. Like, I mean, Kimberly has one as well, so you know, she's able to do it to other characters, but the fact that she has no way to get your opponent off of you except for like a backdash or you know, a jump out, it makes her defense a lot weaker compared to other characters. And there's characters in the game without an invincible reversal, but at least their level 1 works, and a lot of times you're going to have level 1. Kimberly doesn't even have that. So, but we should talk about her strength a little bit. Her medium kick, I think, is hit confirmable. It's a really good medium kick, and you know, on drive rush goes into a lot. You know, she's got a great drive rush. Crouch medium kick is plus. You can see that +1 on the crouch medium kick. Drive rush, crouch medium kick. into pressure. Her offense is amazing. The run shenanigans and whatnot, command grab, really good character. Like I said, if she did have a reversal with her EXDP, I would probably put her at A because she has strong tools. I wouldn't put her in S probably, but I would put her at A. However, just not having a wake up, I think puts her at C because I think her strengths aren't that crazy to put her above it. And it is just such a big weakness. All right, let's talk about another character that also does not have a reversal. However, I think they have some tools to compensate. So Dhalsim doesn't have a reversal, obviously, and his level 1 even is not actually invincible. Level 2 you can bait with a... I'm going to put Dhalsim a tier above Kimberly at B tier just because his zoning is actually really good in this game, in my opinion. You know, obviously he's got his long limbs that take away drive gauge, and like in other games you could kind of play back a little bit, wait for the Dhalsim maybe to make a mistake, look for your opening. But the fact that this takes away so much of your drive gauge each time you block a button makes you forced to just kind of take the initiative against his attacks more than you would like. On top of that, he also has his grounded fireball back, and its main strength isn't just in like maintaining the neutral position, because I think, you know, his limbs are good enough to do that on its own. But I think the main strength of these fireballs is when you're cornered and you send one of these out there, you can use it to safely teleport behind your opponent and get all of your space back. So I think these fireballs are really good for doing that, and a great tool that Dhalsim now has back after Street Fighter V when he didn't have it. I think the biggest thing that Dhalsim has to really worry about is kind of drive rushes and jump ins in neutral. But the fact that this crouched medium punch is cancelable, I think it's a really good tool. It doesn't have the best range. You know, it's probably like Juri heavy kick in terms of range, maybe a little bit farther. But the fact that you can drive rush behind it, you can cancel into a fireball to get your space back. Like, there's a lot of ways that Dhalsim can just build space again and then start his zoning once again. And his anti-airs are really great. This back fierce, back medium punch, great anti-airs. But I mean, while Dhalsim doesn't have the wake ups, so I think he can definitely get mauled. I think the fact that he's supposed to be able to keep you out, and I think he does have the tools to do that in this game, it does actually compensate for this fact. At least enough for me to put him in B tier. And one more character without a reversal, we are going to be talking about Manon, and she is actually going to be a tier above Dhalsim in A tier with the strong characters. If Manon did have an invincible wake up, I would put her at S. The only reason I'm not putting her at S is because of the fact that she can get mauled. She doesn't have that invincible reversal without level 1. But her metal system, I'm sure you guys have felt it if you're not a Manon player and you've played against Manon. It just goes into crazy amounts of damage. The fact that it carries over rounds, you wouldn't think that that really made sense in a Street Fighter game. However, Manon kind of defies that. Her metals carry over rounds into crazy damage. You know, even at level 1, her command grabs do like a pretty reasonable amount of damage. 200, level 2, 2300. It's getting kind of high. Level 3, 2700. Level 4, 3000, and level 5, that's when it gets crazy. And if a Manon player gets to level 5 by the 5th round, you know you're in store for a very hard round. Like, if you take a look at this last round from Idom versus Kizzy K when Idom was at level 5, look at this. He just basically wins the entire round right off the fact that he has a level 5, and then he has all these guesses. It's like 3 guesses in a row for the game. Basically 2 interactions for Kizzy to lose, and there's just no way Kizzy is going to guess right that many times. And you know, because of the fact that she had that level and the risk reward was so much in her favor, Idom was able to take it. And it's not just the fact that her metal system is so good, like the fact that it stacks, the fact that you can, off of any mix-up, even hits, right? You get it off of hits. So if you go for, so let's say you hit confirm this, you pull them in, you're +3. Either you command grab them and get a medal, or you can get a medal off of jabs. So you're basically 50% of the time going to get a medal off of every interaction where you're in their face. So it's definitely not hard for Manon to get medals, and she has some amazing buttons to do it. Look at how far the stand heavy kick goes. It is insane. On punish counter, you get a follow-up as well. Crazy. Her stand heavy punch, even if you jump, it still somehow pulls you in. Also crazy. For some reason, her medium punch just seems to beat every button that you press in neutral. I don't really understand how it does this. Gives her a medal. Like, her neutral is amazing, and the fact that her medals just do so well on top of that. Like, she is a very good character. The only reason I'm not putting her in S is because of the fact that she doesn't have a wake up besides her supers. All right, next up we have Guile. Guile, I feel like, is kind of weird because some people think he's really good and some people think he's kind of mid. Like, if you ask Daigo, for some reason Daigo would put him probably in B tier. However, in my opinion, Guile is absolutely absurd. His zoning is insane in this game. Recovery on booms is so short. His buttons are so long for some reason. I have Guile in S tier. Now, Guile doesn't really play Street Fighter 6 well in the same way that like Ken and Luke and Juri do. Like, he doesn't have the fastest drive rush. His drive rush is kind of like Ryu's, a little bit slow at the start. He's not really just like throw looping you. He has to spend a drive rush in order to get his throw loop, I'm pretty sure. However, his zoning just kind of negates the strengths of a lot of characters. Like, say, Ken has amazing corner carry. Amazing damage. If he gets you to the corner, you're done for. However, Guile, sonic boom, flash kick, you can't get in, and it's just kind of crazy. There's so many times I try and jump at a Guile sonic boom and he blocks it even though I jump at the same time as the sonic boom. Let me just try and turn the dummy on to see what we're talking about here. Sonic boom blocked. You see that? Sonic boom blocked. Any other character with a fireball, they would have been punished right there. Guile, on the other hand, is able to anti-air very consistently. Look at that. Just insane privilege on the recovery of his sonic boom. For some reason, drive rush into bazooka knee is 0. So he basically gets, you know, 1 bar. It might trade, but he gets all of his screen space back just by doing this move. And he can even be plus. So if he spaces it right, oh, look at that. He got all of his space back just for the price of 1 drive gauge bar. And the entire time while he's zoning you out, even if you're parrying his sonic booms, you might be neutral in drive gauge, but he is slowly building his drive gauge back. So he can shoot an EX boom, set it up, keep zoning you out, and he's just gonna keep building drive gauge. So Guile, in my opinion, is a really good character. I'm honestly not sure why some people in Japan don't think that Guile is that good when I feel like he just clearly is. To be fair though, I might be a little bit biased since I've only really played Guile with Juri, and you know, Juri just kind of lets Guile play his game. And I've heard that Guile might struggle in some matchups like JP. I think JP seems to be able to outzone Guile. Like, I don't even think that Cammy beats Guile. Like, when I was watching the set with Kaba and Punk from CEO, like right here, Cammy is getting zoned out by the Guile. Level 1. He tried to reaction spin knuckle, but reaction spin knuckle to sonic boom, because the recovery is so short. Like, Cammy can do this to other fireballs in the game, but just not Guile because it's so hard to react to. You can see he gets punished counter and he just can't get in for the rest of the round. So even against Cammy, who has like an anti-projectile move, like, it's hard to actually get through the sonic booms. All right, next up we have the character that won Red Bull Kumite. Big Bird won Red Bull Kumite with Marisa. Marisa is another character like Manon, Dhalsim, and Kimberly that don't have a wake up that beats throws. Like, she has armored specials like her counter and her EX Gladius that will blow through buttons, but it will get punished countered by a throw, right? So she definitely can get mauled, which is why I wouldn't put her in S tier. However, she has some insanely strong tools that Big Bird showed, and I will explain. I'm gonna put her at A tier. So first, all of her special moves are extremely hard to deal with. This armored punch, you can't drive impact it. You can beat it with lows, but she might like just release it immediately. So it's always a mind game when she's throwing it out. Look how much drive gauge it takes off as well. Superman punch plus takes off a bunch of drive gauge. It's hard to reaction drive impact. If you do it a little bit late, you're gonna get drive impacted back. All the time while she's plus, she can steal some more turns with her plus buttons. But you guys already knew all this stuff. Let me explain some of the really cheap stuff that I think makes Marisa so good. The first thing is this safe jump that you get pretty much off of like her basic B&B combo. So anytime she gets like a drive rush, boom boom, into back fierce, she's able to do this combo. And off of this combo, you get the best safe jump in the game. And let me explain why it's such a good safe jump. So after the safe jump, you are plus 11. I'm not sure exactly the frame data on the command grab, but both command grab and her forward heavy kick will frame trap any button. So it is a complete 50-50 after blocking that stand heavy kick that you have to guess between command grab or a meaty, and this can be confirmed into basically the same guess. And just for demonstration, I'm going to put them on light punch for the block. So I'll do block after the first hit. I'm gonna do the safe jump. He's gonna do jab. So the first one is command grab, safe jump setup, jump heavy kick. You can see it says counter hit beats the jab. And the combo itself does 4,000, and you're gonna go into another combo that does 3,000 into another loop. So yeah, that safe jump is really good for Marisa and just makes her vortex game insanely strong. And one more thing, you just can't EXDP her. If you do EXDP and you allow her to get her punish combo, look at how much damage it does. Like say this Marisa has full meter, has full bar, you do an EXDP, wake up EXDP, you think, oh, I want to get the Marisa off me. She's either going to do strike or command throw. I want to do an EX reversal to beat both of them. Well, here's a combo. Charge fierce, forward roundhouse, back fierce, charge back fierce, into super. And nope, it's not done yet. 6,900 still not done. 7762. You're basically dead. If you got knocked down in the first place to do an EXDP and then you get punished with that, you lost the round. So yeah, Marisa is just like Manon in my opinion, that her tools are so good that she should be S tier. Like she's got the damage, she's got the vortex with her command grab. However, the fact that she doesn't have a reversal that beats grabs without super puts her at A tier because she can get mauled. Continuing into characters without reversals, I have Lily, and unfortunately, even though I think she's actually really strong and a really scary character to deal with, I gotta put her in C. She's like Kimberly where she's a strong character, but I think the fact that she doesn't have a reversal that beats strikes, like she's got EXDP that beats throws, but for some reason it doesn't beat strikes. If they made that change, I think she would probably be an A tier actually, because her tools aren't that good to compensate for the fact that she doesn't have a reversal. I would put her at C. So like I said, I think Lily is actually pretty strong, like in terms of her tools besides her defense. Like being able to get Windclad stocks, you might think it's kind of gimmicky, but it's like a very real, and there's real safe ways to actually get her Windclad stocks. Crouch Fierce into EX Windclad is a block straight. I have them on jab on reversal. You can see it's not even coming out. Now on Drive Impact, she has ways to beat Drive Impact, like, or bait Drive Impact, I should say. Crouch Fierce into Light Soar, baits Drive Impact. So it's always a mix-up when you do Crouch Fierce. Even on the other ones, you can't do Light Soar to bait, but you can do EX Hold Soar, and that will actually bait the Drive Impact as well. Even in neutral, just getting a stock is a mix-up because you could either do the light one or hold and do the heavy one, and if you're trying to drive rush at you, you just hit them. So it's very feasible for Lily to get these drive gauge stocks. And you might think because of this she would be extremely broken, but there's enough counterplay to her Condor Spires that I don't really think so. Like, it's really good, but I wouldn't put it in the same category as like Marisa's damage or Manon's metal system. Anytime she does EX Condor Spire to get in, you can just do a drive reversal if you have enough drive gauge, and you're spending 2 gauges for 2, along with the fact that she's losing Windclad stock. So it's pretty much a good trade every time if you want to drive reversal that and you have a meter. And you might think, why doesn't Lily just get in for free with her normal Condor dive? Because, you know, it's +1, so why not? The problem is this can be drive impacted, because you can see it's only hitting twice. The EX one, if you charge it up, it hits 3 times, but this one only hits twice, so you can drive impact this one on reaction. So yeah, I think Lily is really strong, and it just speaks to the character power in this game that I think Kimberly and Lily are really good characters. Like, they're really scary to deal with, and I could definitely see myself losing to them at any time against a good player. However, just because of the fact that they don't have reversals, I'm putting them a bit lower. But every single character in this game is very strong. And actually, the last character I'm going to put as C tier, that's right, I'm only putting 3 characters in C tier. Unfortunately, it's gotta be Zangief. He's so scary in this game, but he doesn't have an invincible reversal, so he can get mauled. Alongside that, he does have some other problems, I feel like. The main one being he can't anti-air cross-ups for whatever reason. You got your opponent in the corner, you know, you got your offense going. Your opponent jumps over you. Oh, you did lariat. You would think that that would anti-air like it does in previous Street Fighter games. So I got the Juri to jump over me right here. Oh, lariat didn't work. EX lariat? Oh, that one auto-corrected. But if they jump over you just at the right time, the only way you get this is if you do the lariat while they're on the other side, actually. So sometimes you're able to get it, but the fact that it doesn't like auto-correct or that it doesn't hit behind is so crazy. There's definitely a lot of strength that Zangief has, and like, I'm not just putting him in this C tier because I think he's bad. It's just I think everyone else is a little bit better than him. But I definitely think every single character is super scary to deal with. Like, look at this. He gets so much damage off an EX command grab. However, no Oki. You kind of got to drive rush in, go for SPD or this target combo. One thing that's really good with Zangief is his drive rush medium punch, because it forces a real mix-up between strike and throw. You can go for the SPD, right? So you can see they're on jump back. If you read they're going to jump back, you actually do get a mix-up. So this chop target combo is a very good addition that they added to Zangief. It's pretty safe on block, -6. Sometimes it does whiff though. You're going to get whiff punish for sure. But yeah, I feel like the fact that Zangief has to force his way back in after every command grab mix-up and start drive rushing, it's a little bit weird to get used to now because people aren't really checking drive rushes, and if you're not checking the drive rushes, Zangief gets a free mix-up. But I think later on people will realize when the Zangief player kind of has to go for those drive rushes to get back in, and those will get checked, and he's going to get a lot less opportunities, which means that he's going to get his one big cash out, and then he's got to work his way back in. Some other good tools he has, like stand heavy punch is amazing in neutral, but is it better than like a Marisa Gladius? Because I feel like Marisa's Gladius is kind of the same thing, but better. Like, you look at this move, it's got a hit of armor, just like Gladius, but it doesn't beat Drive Impact. Drive Impact beats this. It gets hit low in the same way, and Marisa's able to drive rush in and actually get fierce after her command grab and be +1. But Zangief, he's all the way over here. He's got to actually work his way back in. Zangief's got other good tools. I mentioned it in my Zangief Road to Master video. Like, he's got a lot of tools to get over fireballs, make the correct read, get in, do a lot of damage, do some big damage. Level 2 goes through fireballs. So it's not like he does really bad against characters that keep him out in that way. But it's just, once again, the fact that he doesn't have a wake up reversal until level 3. It's not just level 2. You might think his level 2 is actually a good reversal, but look at the startup. It's 18 frame startup. I can set the Juri player on the same meaty jab thing as before. So she's gonna do a meaty jab right here after the throw. I'm gonna try and wake up super because I think I can wake up with a super to beat the jab, but unfortunately as Zangief, it just doesn't work that way, and suddenly you are minus a ton. So yeah, I think Zangief has the tools to get in, but it just doesn't seem as consistent as other characters. Along with the fact that he gets mauled, I gotta put him in the C tier along with Kimberly and Lily. And next up we're gonna do Jamie, which a lot of people are saying is one of the worst characters in the game, because of the fact that you really have to get his drinks to seem like a strong character. However, I am going to put him a little bit above that. I think he has a little bit more potential. We're gonna put him at B tier. The only thing this character really lacks before getting his levels is damage, I would say. So like, you know, you do like a normal combo like this, you go for a drink. I guess Oki as well, right? Because you're getting the drink. Most characters can go for the mix-up afterwards. Jamie doesn't get Oki a lot of the time. However, I think he does have some good tools to get back in. So like Drive Rush, Stand Fierce, amazing tool in neutral. You can see it's +5, so you can combo into jabs after, get a drink if you want. On block, this is +1. So this is why you see a lot of Jamie players doing this, just to gain space, get their opponents to the corner a little bit. And I'm not gonna lie, Jamie is definitely weak when he's in level 1 or level 2, but it's very possible for him, like you do the EX, you're at level 2, suddenly you land one combo, you're level 3, and with the command grab, Jamie is extremely scary because, oh, you wanna go for the hit, you wanna go for the command grab, anything is possible. And then level 4, you guys know how much damage Jamie does in level 4, and now he doesn't need to worry about Oki anymore. So the fact that he is so good potentially, I think that at least puts him a tier above C, and I think people need to explore his level 2 a bit more. I honestly haven't seen too many Jamie players and seeing what they're doing with level 2, but the fact that you can just go into level 4 immediately, the timer doesn't go down too slowly. You get a couple of guesses, you can get your opponent to the corner, start throw looping them. So it's a great super. Jamie's got the Drive Rush, as I said, he's got an invincible wake up. I think he's an overall solid character with the potential to be really good. So I'm going to put him at B tier. Definitely a character that needs to be explored a little bit more, but to me, I think B tier is a safe place for him at the moment. All right, next up we have Cammy. A lot of people are saying she's S tier, and I agree. She's just kind of a solid character. The only thing she really lacks is a Drive Rush, I would say, but that's not really a necessity. Drive Rush is something that can be checked, and the Cammy player can just be playing solidly enough to never need to go for something like a Drive Rush. She's got amazing neutral buttons. The stand heavy kick in particular, it's like Juri's, but I think it's a little bit better than Juri's because of the fact that it's like faster. So you can, it's easier to not whiff. It takes off a big chunk of drive gauge. You're just trying to get your opponent's drive gauge off. You know, she's got a great crouch medium kick, which you can Drive Rush off of, get a combo. Dive kick, amazing in this game because of the fact that if your opponent whiffs a button, you get the punish counter effect. And if it punish counters, you pretty much always get a combo. I think you guarantee, like, if you hit the top of their head, it's +5. So it is 5 frames? Yeah. You always get this combo. And if it hits their toes, you get crouch medium punch. Cammy has the best level 3 in the game. Goes immediately through fireballs. Can whiff punish anything from pretty much full screen. He's able to cash out. A lot of characters can cash out in the same way, but for some reason Cammy just seems to always kill. Does an insane amount of damage, it feels like. I'm not sure if there's any truth behind it, but it just feels like it does more damage than other characters confirming off a jab in a similar way. Gotta wake up that side switches, so it's extremely annoying to try and pressure a Cammy player on wake up, because you just don't want to press your button or throw them, because if you do, you just lose the corner immediately. But just like Luke, she's got great corner carry on combos. Spiral arrow, just like any other game, is going to take you to the corner pretty quickly, where you can throw loop or do a meaty stand medium punch, which is going to allow you to do a combo afterwards. But yeah, the only thing I would say she really lacks is a drive rush. Like, she obviously she does have one, but it's nowhere near the same as like Ken or Luke or Juri. All right, these last 5 I think could be controversial depending on who you ask, which is why I've saved them for the last 5. The first one, let's talk about E Honda. E Honda, his headbutt, amazing. Butt slam, amazing. Everyone, including me, is super annoyed by him in ranked, but I do think he has some weaknesses. First, I think fireballs are pretty good against him. Second, he doesn't have a good wake up, so we're gonna put him at B tier. He's got good tools, but the fact that he can get balled and the fireball weakness, I think, is gonna put him at B tier. So like against fireballs, he's got tools. He's got EX headbutt and he's got level 2 super. So both of these are very good at getting through fireballs. However, the fact that both of these cost meter, and the damage isn't like that insane to deter your opponent from throwing a fireball. 2 meters in this game, like, your opponent doesn't really feel bad about getting hit by that in most cases, I feel like. And at the same time, they could be throwing them really close, so it's hard for you to react, and you might just happen to be throwing out another one, and it's kind of hard. Of course, we gotta mention the strengths. Headbutt takes a whole drive gauge off. The only real answer is to perfect parry it. You can try and DP it as well. It's really hard. Perfect parry is the most consistent answer against headbutt, and it's a 2-frame window. Butt slam, you know, you can anti-air it, but it's one of the most annoying moves to anti-air. It's +1 when you're burned out. It's +5. Just catches your jumps when you're trying to jump away. But yeah, those are Honda's main like really good neutral tools. He's got his crouch fierce, which is good for whiff punishing, but in terms of other pokes, like stand heavy kick, also good. But like cancelable normals, you kind of gotta be pretty close to do something like this and get in. You can do your drive rush stand medium punch, which honestly is pretty good because your opponent's gonna be looking for a headbutt. But the fact that it's, you know, still pretty slow, your opponent might react to the green and check it pretty easily. So yeah, I don't think his neutral, aside from headbutt, butt slam, is that insane. But I mean, headbutt is crazy. And once again, huge weakness in a game where throw loops exist. His only real wake up, EX headbutt, is honestly pretty good because it beats safe jumps, if I'm not mistaken. I think maybe if you safe jump with the light button, it doesn't beat safe jumps. But, you know, it's a pretty good tool to have against safe jumps, but it does lose to throw. You got level 1 at least, which is 7 frames. There are some characters like Kimberly, like Zangief, where their level 1 super doesn't even work against meaties, but Honda at least has his level 1. 4 more characters getting into the controversial territory. JP, a lot of people, I think, probably have him in S. Like you guys in the YouTube comments probably have him in S tier. I think JP is good enough to be in A tier and not S tier. First, let me say again, A tier is filled with amazing characters. You got like Manon, Marisa. These are very high powered characters. I'm not saying JP is bad at all. His zoning is extremely good when you're at this position. You know, you can definitely zone people out. And even when your opponent gets in, you still have pretty good buttons to try and keep the distance. You gotta stand medium punch, you gotta stand fierce into ghost, which cannot be drive impacted. So really good to just get your opponent off you. And he has one of the best defensive options in the game with this EX counter, because if you counter a throw, you just get a back throw. For some reason, the EX counter counters throw. I still can't get over that fact, but it's such a good defensive option, and you're going to be able to side switch and get a bunch of damage. But the reason I have him at A instead of S, I just don't think his zoning is as good as Guile. Like, you got a character with like Guile that can zone amazingly well from anywhere on the screen. If he's full screen, he sets up a sonic blade, starts shooting some sonic booms. Right here, sonic boom flash kick. JP can zone from here, but from this range, he's got to play neutral like everybody else. And every character, they're going to struggle trying to get out of this portal stuff, but eventually they'll get to a space here where JP doesn't have a portal set up, and JP is just here fighting like everybody else, but with slower walk speed, so a little bit harder for him. And why I'm putting him at 8, I still think he's a really good character, but when I compare him to Guile, I just don't think he's there. All right, we got 3 more characters to go over. This one might be the most controversial, I'm not really sure. But we got Dee Jay. People are putting him in top 3. People are putting him in top 5. I'm going to put him in B tier because honestly, I don't see what all the hype is about. B tier still is a really good place to be. Like, these characters I think are pretty strong, but when I look at the characters in A and S tier, they have some insane tools, and I just don't honestly see what insane tool Dee Jay has to be over these characters. JP has his amazing zoning, Marisa has amazing damage, Manon has her metal system. These characters are just insanely solid with their neutral. Dee Jay doesn't have the same neutral as these characters, and in my opinion doesn't have like that X factor that puts him up here like Manon, Marisa, and JP does. Not sure if people are putting Dee Jay this high just because of his drive rush or what. Like, his drive rush is amazing, don't get me wrong, but it's something that can be checked, and if that's like his only strength, I don't think that puts him in S tier, so I have him in B tier. And I very well may be completely wrong about this, because like players like Daigo are saying that Dee Jay zoning is even better than Guile's. Like, why play Guile when you can play Dee Jay? But like, look at this. Takes 44 frames for this one, 60 frames for this one. This one's 21 frames, so you can bait. Compare that to Guile. I think Guile's was what, 40 frames total. This one is 45. EX, you can drive rush behind, but it's pretty hard compared to something like Juri to drive rush behind it. Like, I have the replayer on jab right now. You can see it trading right there. If I'm too close, if I try to do it off of a regular fireball, it's just not a thing I can do. I have to spend the EX in order to get in, and even then it's very tricky to get the timing, and you definitely cannot get a throw. His drive rush, amazing, best drive rush in the game along with Juri's. I'm not going to deny that, but it along with everyone else's drive rush, including Juri's, can be checked. I know you guys are not going to believe me without any sort of proof, so here is me today playing in a tournament against a Dee Jay player. He's going to do a fireball, try and drive rush. Look, it's not too hard to check. Like, I think if you're ready for the drive rush and you have the correct button choice in mind, depending on the spacing, like right here you got a jab, right here you got like crouch medium punch or something, it's very feasible to check these drive rushes. And yeah, Dee Jay's got some great tools. This EX thing is honestly really good. The fact that, you know, either the low or the overhead goes into crouch medium punch and it's safe on block. He's got this that's plus, this for some reason is plus. This target combo is safe for some reason, so it's plus on burnout. So he's got some good tools, but I don't think his neutral compares to like Ken, Juri, Chun, Cammy. Like, he's got some buttons, but they're not cancelable into drive rush, right? The only things that's cancelable into drive rush is this crouch medium punch that you gotta be mad close for it. Juri can do crouch medium kick from over here. Luke can do stand heavy punch drive rush from over here. Dee Jay can press a button. That's pretty much it. And they're good buttons, I'm not gonna lie, but nothing cancelable. You might get drive impacted. So that's my thoughts on Dee Jay. Definitely let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong. All right, so a lot of people have been saying Juri is S tier in the top 5 in the game, and I'm gonna put her in top 5 for now. Out of these 17 characters, I think that Juri is top 5, and you know, probably for the same reasons. that you guys are saying. Her drive rush is amazing, her neutral is amazing, great crouch medium kick. She just plays Street Fighter V really great. She's also got one of the best fireball drive rushes in the game behind her like low moving fireball. +2 stand medium punch and a throw loop. She's got defensive options. But I think the fact that her fireball is a little bit different than like Luke, Ken, or Guile or Chun makes her struggle a little bit in some matchup. Like for instance, headbutt and Blanka ball. You throw a fireball over a headbutt, you just kind of can't use it in this matchup. And I'm not even saying this matchup is bad because Juri's neutral is good enough to deal with a lot of the things. Like she's got a great DP, she's got great buttons. But the fact that her fireball is suddenly negated by not just Honda, I'm going to go over some other examples, but this is just one example of when she can't really use her fireball. And almost every character in the game, I'm not saying every character does, but a lot of the characters in this game are able to actually punish the fireballs if you just throw it out. Like Chun's got forward heavy kick, doesn't work from that range, but if you can just go over it with a move, you get huge damage. So she's not just able to set it out for free like you might think. And if you got a fireball like Luke or Ryu or Guile, you try and release the fireball on wake up, you might just get stuffed. So like you can see, she would even lose a store in this case. And I know this sounds like I'm just downplaying Juri, but this is an honest tier list and I'm giving my honest opinions. And this is something that Juri, I think, struggles with, is like just things that move horizontally that go over her fireball. Like you can see it hits and Luke still gets to block the fireball. If Juri was able to set out her fireball for free against the cast, she would easily be top 1 in the game. No question about it. But I think people are still working on dealing with this fact and also on dealing with her drive rush. The amount of players that I'm able to play against that just never check drive rush is still so high that I feel like it's kind of hard to judge Juri's strength just based off of results, because you have to look at the players that are able to react currently. Like take a look at this second to last round between me and Punk as CEO. Like drive rush definitely gets the job done a couple of times. He's not looking for it, but the second he starts looking for it, you can check it. So it's not an unstoppable move like people are saying. You just have to be 100% looking for it, but it's not unstoppable. But still, drive rush, great tool to have, because if your opponent's not looking for it, with their full attention, you get in for free. Fireball, drive rush, same sort of deal. Got good damage. Punctuate engine, I think is good sometimes, but just overall, just a safe, solid kit with some cool ideas, with the fact that she got fireballs. But yeah, Juri definitely has strong tools, which is why I have her so high. I'm not downplaying that much. Drive rush, if you're not completely looking for it, it's definitely going to hit or get blocked at least. You can take off a chunk of drive gauge, throw loop in the corner, fireball, you can drive rush behind, amazing buttons and neutrals, hit confirmable, stand fierce. Like she is definitely a good character. It's just, I think her fireball is not as good as something like a Luke or Ken or Guile fireball, which is just solid in every situation. And that brings us to the last character we have, which is going to be Blanka. There's 2 tiers in this tier list that don't have the same amount of characters as the A and B tiers. So do we want to put Blanka in C tier or S tier? We're gonna put Blanka in S tier. And I know you guys are probably saying I'm just doing this based off the CEO results because Manon RD won with Blanka, and you're partially right, because beforehand I would have said, you know, I don't know too much about Blanka. He seems pretty good, but you know, is he that good? I don't know. But obviously, after seeing such a good player play the character, I can see his strengths, and he seems like a pretty good character. First, his main strength that I think was really showcased at CEO, which is Air Blanka Ball, is by far the best defensive option in the game, at least combined with the fact that he has an EX reversal. So already Blanka has good defense just off the fact he has an invincible OD reversal, but this tool is so good. And you might think it's just because on wake up, like immediately you do it and it's plus frames, which is good for that case. You beat a throw, and if not, you're plus. But it's mainly good in the situation after blocking like one button when you're at this range. So if I have Juri do the stand heavy punch, so if I have Juri do like stand medium punch, crouch medium kick like this is the range I'm talking about, when you basically take one hit, and most characters still have to block the follow-up hit. So you can see most characters would have to deal with that, but not Blanka. Against any other character, this crouch medium kick would be safe to hit, except if the Blanka did like a committal EXDP option. But Blanka can stay uncommitted, just jump back, and if he sees a button on the opponent, he can whiff punish them in a way that no other character can do. Let's say he lands like a basic drive rush combo into his coward crouch launcher. He is able to set up a mix-up that is comparable to like Kimberly's bomb. It's a little bit worse because the throw mix-up isn't quite there, but the Blanka Chan stays up there and for quite a while. You can see it's still there. It's still there. And then the second you get hit by the meaty, oh no, what's all this damage? And you're dead. So in my opinion, he's kind of like Kimberly, where he has great offense, great movement options, but with the fact that instead of Kimberly having the worst defense in the game, Blanka has literally the best defense in the game. And I would say like the weakest part of Blanka is his neutral, but his neutral is still good. Crouch fierce, great button, only -5, but I think it goes maybe farther than Juri heavy kick. I think it actually might go farther than Juri's heavy kick. On punish counter, it knocks you down, so you can just get all of your corner screen. Like you can't get up from this. It's a hard knockdown. So like mid screen, Blanka's not doing too much, but he can get you to the corner pretty quickly. Crouch medium punch, great button, and guess what? It's cancelable. Back medium kick is plus. However, if you're crouching, it doesn't hit from like too far away, so it only works like super close, but still a great option to have like when you're up close to do this. He's got this move which just spaces you out so far your opponent can't do anything, even though it's plus 14. You can be random. It's cancelable to coward crouch. And then Blanka Ball, just like E Honda headbutt, it just controls neutral. Like I was talking about these buttons before, like he was just playing neutral like normal, but these make your opponent so scared to press a button and just look for this, just like E Honda headbutt. Like I was talking about E Honda having decent neutral just by having headbutt. Blanka has both. He has the ball and good buttons, along with the fact that you can't really just parry off of any Blanka Ball. Like the second you see an E Honda headbutt, you can just press parry and hope it perfect parries. You can't do that with Blanka Ball because the light ball can bait you. So the fact that, you know, he has this makes it like slightly better than the E Honda headbutt in my opinion. Anyways, Blanka and Dee Jay probably are the most controversial ones on the list, so definitely let me know in the comments what you think about those ones. For now, we will get to ordering these tiers. All right, so first off, who do we want in these top 5 to be in the first position? Right off the bat, I would have to say my top 3 are Luke, Ken, and Guile. I think these 3 are so solid. I personally put these 3 a little bit above Cammy and Blanka. So it would probably make sense to have another tier, but since people like to talk in terms of top 5 and top 10, I feel like it makes sense to just have one tier for the top 5, and we're going to order this anyways. And it's a really tough decision. First, I'm going to say Luke and Ken, I think, we're gonna put in top 2, not because I think Guile does worse than them against like any of the top tier characters. In fact, I think Guile might do better, honestly, but like I've heard that Guile loses to JP, and you can't really have a top 1 character having like a bad matchup when there's characters that don't lose matchups. Like I don't think Luke and Ken really lose matchups. Ken might lose slightly to Guile, but that seems to be it. So for my top 1, I am going to put Ken. I think Ken and Luke are very similar and comparable, but Ken just has a little bit more of the crazy factor. Like I feel like his heavy Dragon Lash, and then also the Jinrai kick stuff, and EX Fireball into Drive Rush. I feel like it just adds the pressure on your opponent a little bit more than Luke. But Luke is still very solid. We're going to have him at number 2. As I mentioned, Guile I think is slightly above, since he just seems to zone out everyone. Like you have to play the Guile game plan. You kind of can't play your own game plan as any character in the cast except maybe JP. Now between Cammy and Blanka, it's kind of hard to say because they're so different in terms of character archetypes. And I'm going to put Blanka as number 4 and Cammy at number 5. I just think the Blanka airball, honestly, it makes me think that Blanka is so strong, because there's so many times you can press a button against anyone else in the cast except Blanka, and maybe it'll take some time to figure out counterplay, but just right now it seems so good as an option. Alright, Juri is the character I've been playing the most, and as I said earlier, I think she is number 6 in the game. She's just under this tier. Like I would put her here as number 6, but the fact that she has some weaknesses, I feel like just doesn't make sense for her to be an S tier. For number 7, I am going to put Marisa. Maybe this is a little bit of recency bias. Maybe she should be a little bit lower, but I just think her damage output is insane, and her corner vortex when she gets a safe jump. She's just a super scary character, and it kind of negates the fact that she doesn't have a reversal, because her offense is just as scary to other characters as other characters are to her with a normal throw loop. In the number 8 spot, who do we have? I'm going to put Chun-Li. I think that even despite the fact that she doesn't have a throw loop, she's super good. Her buttons are insane in neutral, and I think she's just a little bit more solid than Manon and JP. Obviously the same could be said for Marisa, so maybe Chun should be a little bit higher, but I just think that Marisa seems so good with her damage output and her offense, so I just have to put Marisa here for now. JP I'm going to put at number 9 ahead of Manon. Like his zoning is crazy, as you guys know, and honestly I would have put him like lower beforehand, but as I've seen the game develop and I've seen like JP players actually playing neutral instead of just zoning the whole time, it does look like he can stand his own in neutral, even with the fact that, you know, his walk speed isn't that great. Like he still has great stand heavy punch and crouch medium punch. So JP is going to be number 9. All right, then who's at the bottom? All right, so who's at the top of the bottom 8 characters? First, I gotta put Dee Jay. Dee Jay is still a very solid character. I'm just not putting him at S or A because I don't think he has like the X factor that these characters have in terms of like brokenness. He's got his drive rush, but it's not as insane as I think people think it is, at least in my opinion, but overall still a very solid character. Next up, I'm gonna put Dhalsim. I think people have been putting him really low, and it's understandable because he doesn't have a reversal and drive rush is so good to get in this game. But I think once Dhalsim players get better at checking drive rushes and like getting their anti-airs on point, like on paper Dhalsim's zoning just seems really good in this game. Like he's got all the tools, he's able to teleport pretty easily out of the corner. Next up, I'm going to put Jamie, which might come as some sort of surprise. And honestly, I don't have the best reason for this. I just think that once he's leveled up, he's so good, and I feel like the more people play him, the better he will get. So I'm putting him in anticipation of him kind of improving, but realistically he probably should be on the lower end right now, but I think that Jamie has the potential once he's maximized to be at least here. And then between Ryu and Honda, it hurts me to not put Honda a little bit higher, but we gotta put Ryu just because like he's a solid character. And I think Honda does struggle against like fireballs, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Honda is such an annoying character, and it really does pain me to put him here so low, but at least I didn't put him in C tier. Now in C tier, these are characters without reversals, so it's really just how good I think their offense is, in my opinion, how good they are at starting offense. I think I have Lily at number 1. I think her win stocks are really good. They're really easy to get. Kimberly and Zangief, they got drive rush to get in, but Lily has her own mechanic that's just kind of a get in for free, so it's a little bit extra in my opinion. And then between Kimberly and Zangief is such a toss-up. Who do I want to say is the worst character in the game and give these people an excuse, an OS for why they're losing? I am going to have to give the second to last spot to Kimberly and Zangief as the worst character in the game. Not to say that he's bad, but I think Kimberly can play neutral a little bit better with her stand medium kick. And that is going to be our final ordered tier list. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think is wrong with my list. I personally think this is 100% accurate to my experiences playing the game. Once again, take this tier list with a grain of salt because it's only been 1 month. The game has yet to develop, and once again, all of these characters are really strong. They made every character have a super high power level in this game. So many tools given to each character. Honestly, I've probably put the characters I know more about higher because I know more about how strong they are. And characters like Dhalsim and Zangief, I don't know as much about. I haven't played them as much, so maybe they are more broken and I just haven't played them enough to find out. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think is wrong with my list, what you guys think is right. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.